Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Xenogears! Last time we had actually a rather happy ending to the episode. Jesse didn't die, we got revenge on Stone, Faye's awake and alive and healthy, and we found a new place to go. We're gonna head to the Tower of Babel. In, of course, hopes that we can find a way to signal Shivats, that we can go there and figure out a whole butt ton of things. Now, before we could really end the episode the way I wanted to, we got stuck into this cutscene between Krellian and the Borg Sphere. Now, so Krellian is working for Solaris. We know this because Stone was trying to bring this back to Krellian. We know he also worked for Solaris, so we put two and two together. Krellian works for them. Like I was saying a number of episodes back, I can't remember if they mentioned him specifically as being associated with Solaris before, or what purpose or position he served. But yeah. So that's the basic idea. We're talking about the M Project, so we know that these guys now are associated with Solaris as well. So who has more power between these two, we don't really know at this point. In fact, we don't know what these guys are even doing. Krellian, we have a little better of an idea. He seems to be present on some of these military ships, so he must have some kind of authority. Seems to be planted on the bridge in almost all of them. Superior bodies and servants, huh? You guys have spent too much time in there. What do you mean? Okay, what destination? I think pretty much everyone exists because of their mother, don't they? If their mother didn't get pregnant, they wouldn't exist. Logic, right? They've betrayed their mother and creator. Okay, what are you talking about? That was in the past. They were trapped in cursed flesh, and now it's different because they're trapped in a Borg sphere? And apparently Krellian doesn't take orders from them, which means they have at least some authority, otherwise that line would be pointless. And Krellian has even more authority because he's allowed to say that. Okay, now, I can't really explain what they are because, again, that's going to be a bit of a spoiler, but these guys are the Gazelle Ministry. These are basically the Solaris government. All of these people are just like that. And at some point, they lost their flesh. They died. Krellian had the technology and the knowledge to help them get into this computer, and so their minds have been backed up as data. Now, they haven't really said this yet, but it's not really a big spoiler, and it doesn't spoil any big ideas. It's kind of confusing to deal with these scenes as is. I know from both times I played the game prior to this one, I was confused about what exactly was going on in these scenes, and they talk in a confusing manner. So anyway, they're backed up in this computer called the SOL 9000. It's not over 9000, it is 9000. Just making sure you know that. Yeah, Krellian did that. A moment to a god. You have no need for hesitation. Are you comparing yourself to a god? Anyway, enough of the confusion. Now, if you talk to Sigurd, there are new parts brought into the gear shop down below. So why don't you go check them out? Shall we launch? No, I want to go buy new gear parts. So I'm going to do that, get all my party organized and set up, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now, I haven't actually bought too much yet. What I did buy was a Blood G-Whip. I just bought one of those. And whichever of these bullets increased his damage, I just bought 5 of them. Just for those two, and I'll re-equip him a little bit later. In the meantime, I would recommend at this point only upgrading 3 gears, because as soon as you get through the next area, although it is long, you will have access to even better gear parts. So upgrading everyone here is kind of pointless. So pick 3 characters. If you want, you can choose Ellie. She's had enough showtime lately, so I don't think she really needs to be in here. She will be helpful for 2 upcoming bosses, but because we will be in Gears and she can use air rods. But I don't think that's necessary. I'm actually going to go with the characters that I've used kind of the least recently. And as you can see from these upgrades, oh yes, Faye has not upgraded his engine since before you got to, actually no, while you were at Nortu. Think about how far back that was. What, maybe 20 episodes? 15? That's crazy. So we're gonna upgrade here and get the best stuff that we can. Yeah, we're gonna double our HP. That's awesome. And specifically for the upcoming area, there are enemies that can use beam attacks that do quite a bit of damage. So I would recommend going with the this one there because it's got ether defense as well. We're not gonna upgrade you or you. Take a look at his engine. He still has the crappy engine he got way back in Blitavec. Still haven't used him in gear form, other than I think like 1 battle or something like that, and it didn't matter. So I'm actually going to upgrade the Brigandier at this point because I haven't really been using Billy all that much. He doesn't need the upgrades as bad, but I will be upgrading pretty much everyone else when I go to the next area anyway. So let's just give you the best stuff that we have here. And yeah, let's upgrade that. That'll be helpful. Probably should have done the fuel thing with Faye as well. There we go. Now, Renmazu, I am not going to do anything with. Don't really need to. He's got good stuff as is. But yes, we're finally going to make use of Rico in gear form. It's been a long time since we've done that. So let's upgrade all your stuff. Again, we want more ether defense, so let's go that way. And let's give him some fuel. Once you've picked the 3 characters that you want to upgrade, just make sure you do all that and grab the best upgrades that you can because the upcoming area is somewhat difficult, so you're going to want to do that. One thing of note is the black snake that I got in the previous dungeon there has ether defense down. The one I have now has poison down, but this one's a little more powerful, and I don't really care too much about the status effects, but I do care about them more than outright damage when I have them on there. So. And now let's take a look at the gears. Magnetic coats all the way around because it really doesn't matter at this point. Let's just throw that on there. So we got 280 and 336. He is going to be a powerhouse in the upcoming area. Unfortunately, he's slow. 7 agility. But we'll see what we can do. We'll keep him on booster a lot of the time if it's an important fight, so I'll meet you upstairs. Okay, we're back. Now, one final note is ether doublers and whatever those pendants were. I can't remember the name of them. Anyway, the pendants, the holy pendants that I picked up at Nissan, this is the last point in the game I double-checked that they were available for purchase. After the next point, when we start to go to Babel, it will disappear. Both of them. That shop disappears in general, and you don't get access to those items at all. I don't think you can ever steal or get a drop. There's no steal in this game. I don't think you can ever get a drop of a holy pendant or an ether doubler anywhere in the game, and you won't get another ether doubler until the final dungeon. It would be extremely helpful to have at least one. If you feel like using 2 magic users, you can use Billy and Ellie in the same fight and have each of them with one. You can do that if you want. I don't particularly care for it, but it's there if you want it. Anyway, I would recommend getting those before heading there if you haven't already. If not, let's move on. And we're going to head to the Tower of Babel, which is over here. This way. There we go. The enemies around here die in 1 X attack now, and do 0 damage to me, which is hilarious. Anyway. I got alarms and watches beeping all over the place. Anyway, let's run on in here. Now, for whatever reason, even though they would not open when we were here earlier in the game, from, I guess, invisible plot wall, we can now go in here. And once you get here, we get battle. I was going to say cool music, but we can have a battle first. That works. I have not checked to see if any of these enemies drop anything in particular. All I know is that they're not all that powerful and they die pretty easily. Now, pretty much everyone should have all of their death blows learned at this point. If you don't, I would recommend... You don't necessarily need to learn them all. Faye learned a couple of spells in the previous, or another spell in the previous battle there. Now, I don't remember where all of the items are, but I think there's one right over here. Now, be careful around here because you can fall off. Okay, I forget exactly where I was in my thought there. I got a bunch of text while I was in that battle. So the idea that I was trying to get across is as you're running up to these things, make sure you're running, otherwise you're not going to make these jumps. And 2, you're going to want to make sure that you are not right about to run into a battle, because you can fall down and it does not end well for you. Okay, so you can get light ARs and, oh, what are the other ones? Oh, I'm going to fall off anyway. Might as well just do this. You can get light ARs 1 and 2 from some of the enemies around here, as well as ether ARs, but we don't need to worry about that. Nope, I skipped through the dialogue because I keep spamming buttons. But basically, you hold back and forth as the thing works there, and over and over and over and over again, and eventually... Now I think, yeah, the idea is to press the triangle button and hold circle while you're doing that. Press the triangle when you want to jump. And eventually we get over here. Every single battle's been against the same guys. So once we get over to this side, you kind of want to change your camera to make life a little easier. Yeah, you want to jump there. If not, you fall down a little bit too far. But that makes it so you can't get up there. So we want to jump back, head back over here, because if you stay on there, you're going to fall down. And then we're going to jump up here. Nope. Now, I think... There we go. You do kind of a back and forth there. Wow, every single battle's been the exact same so far. You get a Thunder Rod G for Ellie if you're interested in that. So yeah, I'll just fall down here. Fall down too far. And you can climb directly up there. However, if you see over there, we've missed a treasure chest. I did that in particular because I did not expect to be able to get all the way here without falling down, so I figured I'd get thrown over there anyway. But yeah, this chain here, the idea is to climb on the chain, get to the relay station. So I'm just going to commit suicide and drop off here because I want to get those treasures. And then we'll collect those, and then we'll move back up to the relay station, which I'll do off screen since we've already seen how it works there. So we just jump up here and jump. Okay. Game. There we go. So yeah. Another battle. I know I one-shot these enemies, but I really want to fight a different enemy. It's the same battle every single time so far. I haven't had one different battle. So we pop up here, head on over this way. You kind of get stuck on the wall, so you got to wiggle a bit. Okay, same battle again. And there we go. We got a light AR +1, which I won't be using. Now, to show you kind of in reference to where we are, from here, if we jump, this is where we've been before, because right here is the little rope thing. So I will meet you back over where we have access to the relay, and I'll see you there in a moment. Okay, after falling off that stupid rope a bunch more times, you just kind of jump up there, and you automatically transport yourselves all the way up here. And we now have access to a very large save point, which I will use. And from there, if you'll notice over here, we have, let's see here, some kind of relay station. And so, yeah, we can control it from this room. So, yeah. it's kind of hard to see sometimes. So if you walk over to the edge, they give you a little scene to show you, and then we go into our human form, which is going to end very badly for me right about now. So let's call gear here. If this was just a repeat battle, I would have cut it right out. But let's show off some new enemies here. And what do we have here? A fuel tank. I'm not particularly worried about this guy. I think you can hit all your party members for like 600 damage or something. Okay, sure. And he's gone. Why are we fighting enemies this useless? Anyway, that allows us to get in here. And from in here, we have a treasure chest, which is helpful. Now, this is an asshole move. We can play around with this one. We can't play around... Oh, we can look at this. Kind of gives us an idea of where we are. Let's try a few things. You actually have to jump, and... No. You have to jump and hit this little red switch there. And it does not want to work. It never does. So, unfortunately... Would you stop hitting the same damn switch down there? I know that doesn't do anything, and I can't get over here to touch this one, because... There we go. You have to, like, jump and land in there or something, and even that tiny ledge does not want to work very often, so... And as soon as you do that, everything changes. And by everything, I mean... Well... Yeah. We now have access to this weird rocket thing. And so our whole pattern is no longer jumping from platform to platform. We get to ride up in style. Alrighty here. Now, can I get in there anytime soon? That would be nice. Yeah, let's get down here. Now, the door you actually have to jump to get out of too. This room is not very well constructed. It is kind of irritating. And if you're too close to the edge, you won't be able to jump into your gears like that. So from here, nope. We don't want to fall down. Oh, okay. Do we want to fall down? Is that the plan? Okay, I guess that is the plan. I thought I was supposed to, Okay, can I get up here, please? There we go. So, let's jump up here, and we'll get out of our gears and grab a beam jammer, which could be useful. Okay. Get to the upper room by walking on the little catwalk. Yeah, I kind of figured that much, but yeah. So the idea is we need to go up to this. So we get an ether AR, which I don't need. Now there's ladder on either side. Do I get on this from the back or the front? Okay, there we go. Yeah, it looks funny seeing Faye and company being so tiny and running super fast across the screen. Anyway, we get some more treasure here, another gold nugget, and we get an old circuit, which is beyond useless at this point. We have much better things. Nope, I don't want to fall there. Now, I can't remember which button I'm supposed to press. And I want to double check to make sure I haven't missed any treasure here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I went and I checked, and I've definitely gotten all the treasure, but I wasn't sure if we had an option of saving before the upcoming sequence, and the upcoming sequence is going to start as soon as you press any of the buttons around here. So I'm not going to do that today. We'll have to take care of that in the next one there. So one thing to note is just make sure you're keeping your gears nice and healthy around here. Make sure you're not running too low on fuel or HP. As you can see, I haven't really been taking any damage. No one's done a lot of damage to me, but definitely used up a little bit of fuel here and there. I think you got healed at some point, maybe. Not sure. But yeah, magnetic coats are a good option for this area. as most of the enemies haven't really been hitting me, as you can kind of tell. As far as anything else, let's go over some abilities, because we learned a couple this episode. We have Yang Power, defense up and attack down. I don't know why you would want to think that tanking is useful in this game, but it really isn't from my experience anyway. And we have Yin Power, attack is up and defense is down. Now these two are used in Gears as well. However, because some kind of a glitch in the game makes it so that it uses the wrong defense stat. It like uses the character's defense stat even if you're in gear. So regardless of this saying defense is down, it actually isn't when you're in gear form. I'm not sure if it applies to the normal attack as well. It probably does, but I think I talked about that before, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It's confusing. Anyway, so yeah, Yin Power is now useful. We can use in gear form, so we can increase our attack even more, and use Iron Valor as well. I think this ups it more than that. I'm not sure if they stack. I'll have to double check on that. As far as anything else, let's see. We got accuracy and evasion up, and attack up, so he's got another attack as well. Yeah, see, if he had had White Lure and whatever, you know, this, then I could see it being useful as a tank, but he doesn't have that. He just doesn't. And of course, you only have the same things you had before. So everyone can increase their attack if you need to, in future boss fights or anything like that. So that's pretty much all the time I have for this episode. So yeah, in the next one, we will continue forward and see if we can scale to the top of the Tower of Babel. That's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.